The courtroom feels colder than it should. The gentle whir of the ceiling fan can hardly keep pace with the soft thud of hearts pumping in expectation. Cameras click from the press table, attempting to freeze every flicker of emotion on Kody Brown's face. He sits rigid, hands clasped together, jaw clenched. To the world, he is the self-assured patriarch everyone once knew from the TV screen. But today, in the harsh light of reality, he appears diminutive. Meri stands opposite him, shoulders squared, eyes shining but unshattered. She's no longer the girl viewers saw grinning awkwardly through family interviews. This Meri is seasoned by it all and finished with silence. At her side, Christine and Janelle lean in close, their faces strained between fury and terror. Robyn has her head in her hands, fingers digging into the rim of the defense table like she's preparing for a blow. Judge Matthews comes in, calling for immediate silence. The gavel thunders once. This court will now hear case number 2847, Meri Brown versus Kody and Robyn Brown. Grounds: alleged fraud, emotional harm, and family deception. The words ring out like thunder. Kody looks toward Robyn. She attempts a feeble, nervous smile, but it doesn't come close to her eyes. Meri doesn't even glance at them. She fixes her eyes on the envelope resting before her, the one she waited months to open. The lawyer for Meri, a soft-spoken but formidable woman named Karen Wells, gets started. Your Honor, my client believed for years that some facts about her marriage and family were founded on love and honesty. What she finds instead is manipulation, and a secret that involves not only her, but her entire family. Kody fidgets in his seat. He leans over to whisper, "She's doing this for attention," but Meri can hear him. She turns to him at last. "Attention?" she says again, her tone low but piercing. "You think I need attention?" "I want the truth, Kody. Something you've shied away from your whole life," Karen continues, walking slowly. Mrs. Brown found that accounting records on the family's joint business accounts were forged. Money was moved without her knowledge, and when she accused the defendants, she was met with denial. That denial prompted her to investigate further. And she uncovered something none of us anticipated. Judge Matthews nods. "You may proceed." Karen approaches the evidence table and picks up the sealed envelope. "This is a DNA test, Your Honor. Privately ordered by Mrs. Brown after an anonymous letter arrived stating that one of Robyn's children was not fathered by Mr. Brown." The courtroom gasps. Robyn's mouth drops open, but no sound escapes. Kody leaps to his feet, pounding his fists on the table. "That's a lie. This is crazy." "Sit down, Mr. Brown," the judge cautions. Meri doesn't blink. "If it's a lie," she whispers, "then the test will show it." Kody is panting. The assured patriarch is unraveling. Perspiration coats his brow. Robyn shakes her head, mouthing, No, this isn't happening," the judge sighs. "We will accept this document into evidence. The details will be read under confidentiality pending further analysis." Karen nods. "Thank you, Your Honor. But first, I'd like to call our first witness, Mrs. Christine Brown." Christine stands up, looking conflicted. Once a member of this family, now standing as a court witness. The tension between her and Kody is clear, years of pent-up resentment finally boiling over. She steps forward, her hands shaking a little as she is sworn in. "I never imagined that I would be here," she starts quietly. "But I can no longer remain silent." "Proceed. Tell the court what you know," Karen encourages. Christine pauses, then breathes out. "Meri approached me months ago. She told me she discovered money transfers to a property in Robyn's name, a property purchased with money from all of us. I warned her to watch out, because when you cross Kody, things turn nasty." Kody cuts in. "She's lying. You all gained from those investments." Christine glares. "Investments?" You mean the money we earned while you created a new life with Robyn? The courtroom mutters. Even the judge allows the sound to hang there for an instant before banging his gavel once more. Mr. Brown, if you cut me off again, I'll find you in contempt. Kody sits, his face flushed. But his eyes, they flick repeatedly in the direction of the evidence table, toward that envelope. And then, for a moment, Meri sees it. Fear, raw, undeniable fear in the man who used to dictate every word, every choice. Christine goes on. Then I saw something else happen. Robyn began to completely avoid Meri. She canceled family gatherings, shut down messages, and one evening, Meri received a call from someone who said they had evidence regarding Kody and Robyn's hidden secret. That is when she chose to take the DNA test. Robyn does finally speak, her voice trembling. It's not true. The person who called her wanted to ruin us. Meri slowly turns. Then why did you know first that the call was made, Robyn? I never spoke with anyone. Robyn's complexion pales. The audience murmurs once more, and reporters' pens flurry across their notebooks. Judge Matthews clears his throat. We will not have shouting or interruptions. Proceed, Mrs. Brown, Christine nods. That's all I know, Your Honor, but I think Meri should be heard. We all should. She exits, exchanging a fleeting glance with Meri that's half supportive, half sorrowful. Karen takes her place again behind the podium. Your Honor, my client would like to take a brief recess before she makes her final statement today. The judge nods. 10 minutes. We'll be back soon, as people stand. Hushed words swirl through the courtroom like an onrushing storm. Kody inclines towards Robyn. We can't allow that test to be opened. Robyn speaks in a hushed tone. Too late. She already knows. Meri stands quietly at the window, gazing out at the clouded sky beyond. The rain has begun, soft, persistent, like the tears that she's carried inside for so long. Her hand rests above the envelope. She speaks softly, more to herself than to anyone. All I ever wanted was honesty. Now it's all I have left. The camera swings slowly around the courtroom. The papers strewn, the air thick enough to touch. And as the judge returns, Meri turns, her mind already made. She steps forward, envelope in hand. Your Honor, she says quietly but resolutely, I'm ready to show you the results. Gasps spread again through the courtroom. Kody clutches the tabletop, knuckles white. Robyn's lips quiver as tears well in her eyes. Karen looks over at Meri. Are you certain? Meri nods. It's time, the judge waves his hand. Proceed. The camera zooms in on her hands as she breaks the seal, the tearing of paper more resonant than any gavel crash. The world stops dead. Meri uncreases the document and is stopped. Her eyes widen, shock, disbelief, and heartbreak flooding her face. She looks at Kody, then at Robyn. This can't be right, she whispers. The judge leans forward. Mrs. Brown? What does it say? Meri's voice breaks. It says, Kody isn't the father. The entire courtroom erupts. Chaos erupts inside the courtroom. Reporters surge forward. Cameras flash like lightning. Kody's voice rises above the noise, a roar of disbelief and rage. That's impossible! That test is wrong. Robyn is crying now, shaking her head violently, repeating the same words over and over. It's not true. It's not true. But the paper in Meri's trembling hands tells a different story. Judge Matthews bangs his gavel. Order! I told you, order in the court! The echoes hardly penetrate the din. It seems as though the walls themselves are shuddering with shock at what's just been discovered. Meri doesn't budge. She's immobile, her eyes fixed on the report as though it's some fantasy. Her mouth opens, but nothing issues forth. All she manages is one solitary tear that drips down her cheek, etching years of silence and deception. Kody indicates to her, rage contorting his face. "You're lying, Meri! You plotted this! You tampered with that test." His voice breaks with anguish, but nobody believes him, not even Robyn, who will no longer look him in the eye. Karen, Meri's attorney, stands up. "Your Honor, my client did not tamper with anything. This test was run by a certified DNA lab, chain of custody witnessed by 2 people. The paperwork is here." She pushes a thick folder across the table. The judge smiles, accepting it. His face sets in a harsh look as he reads. At the gallery, Christine puts her hand over her mouth in shock. Janelle barely breathes. "Oh my God." The tension is palpable, decades of family loyalty shattering in an instant. Robyn finally gets up, her voice shaking but indignant. "This test is not valid. There has to be some other reason. Perhaps the samples were mixed up, or..." She looks at Kody for reassurance, but he's too busy scowling at Meri. Kody bangs his hand on the table once more. "You wanted to destroy me. This is revenge." Meri raises her head slowly, a face that is serene, almost tragically serene. "Revenge? Kody, I wanted harmony. You're the one who made this family a war zone." The judge intervenes. "That's it. Sit down, the 2 of you." The courtroom becomes quiet, although the stillness is oppressive and malignant. Karen clears her throat. "Your Honor, we request formal verification. If this report is true, it shows not only a moral betrayal, but also potential fraud on legal documents, including birth certificates and monetary benefits received under false pretenses." The judge's eyes open a little wider. "You're implying criminal intent?" "Yes, Your Honor. If so, it means Kody and Robyn intentionally made up information for personal benefit." A murmur sweeps through the audience. Kody's lawyer, a tall, nervous man named Steven, finally speaks up. "Your Honor, my clients categorically deny these accusations. We'll challenge the validity of this evidence." Judge Matthews exhales slowly. "Then we'll proceed carefully. I'm ordering an immediate independent review of this DNA report. Until then, both parties are to refrain from public comment." But it's already too late. Out in the hallway, reporters scream questions, shouting headlines. The story has broken out of the walls. The world now knows. In the courthouse, the judge asks for a recess. The courtroom drains away in a slow hurricane of whispers and camera flashes. Meri sits quietly alone for a moment, blankly gazing at the paper. Christine comes up behind her softly. "Meri, are you all right?" Meri laughs softly with a bitter tone. "Okay? I don't even know what that means anymore." Christine sits with her. "You did the right thing." "You exposed them," Meri shakes her head. "I didn't want to expose anyone. I just wanted answers." She turns towards the door where Kody and Robyn just exited with their lawyer. "Now I don't even know what's real." Rain drums down over the courthouse stairs outside. Kody and Robyn stand under an umbrella, flanked by camera crews. Kody's jaw is clenched. "Don't say a word," he growls to Robyn, but Robyn, still sobbing, collapses in front of the media. "It's not true. We love each other. This is just a misunderstanding." Kody clamps a furious hand on her arm. "You're making it worse," he hisses. Through the glass doors of the courthouse lobby, Meri observes them. Rain warps their forms, once family, now strangers distorted by deceit. Christine steps alongside her. "You think he'll ever own up to it?" Meri shakes her head. "No, Kody doesn't own up." He rewrites. Back in chambers, the judge continues after recess. The courtroom is subdued now, exhausted but charged. Judge Matthews examines the papers once more. "In the meantime, I want to hear this for myself from Mrs. Robyn Brown herself. Mrs. Brown, step up." Robyn hesitates. Her attorney nods to propel her forward. She slowly stands, mascara smudged, hands shaking as she takes the oath. Mrs. Brown, the judge intervenes. Can you describe your relationship with Mr. Brown at the time of conception of the child in question? Robyn pauses, looking at Kody. We were dating, but not yet officially married. It was complicated. The family was under a lot of stress. Karen moves forward to cross-examine. Complicated how, Mrs. Brown? Were you also seeing another man around that time? Robyn's breath is taken away. Her eyes flash to Kody, who's staring at her with the intensity of a predator. I don't exactly remember, she stutters. You don't remember? Karen asks softly. Or you don't want to remember? The courtroom falls silent once more. You can hear the subtle hum of the air vents. Robyn's tears flow freely now. It was before things got serious with Kody. I was scared, lonely, and I made mistakes. Meri shuts her eyes. Those words sting harder than anything the evidence could have done. Kody slumps forward, speaking in a harsh whisper. You said that was my child, Robyn. Robyn weeps. I thought he was. I swear I thought he was. The courtroom erupts once more, voices raised, emotions crashing. The reporters scribble feverishly. The judge bangs the gavel. Enough! This court will recess for the day. We'll resume once verification is done. Everyone stands in stunned silence. The case is far from over, but the truth has already drawn blood. As the crowd disperses, Meri gathers her papers. Christine squeezes her hand. You did it, she whispers. You broke the silence. Meri's voice is low, tired. Yeah, but breaking silence doesn't fix what's broken. She glances back once more, Kody storming out, Robyn dissolving into tears behind him. Thunder rumbles in the distance outside. Reporters cry out questions, flashbulbs flashing like lightning. Meri descends the courthouse steps slowly, rain and tears mingling. She doesn't respond to anyone. She doesn't have to, because tomorrow the entire world will learn about her story, and the story's not finished. As she approaches her automobile, she hesitates, glancing upward at the turbulent sky. I wasted half my life covering up lies, she breathes, and the other half struggling to stay alive from them. She fires up the car, exits without a glance. Within the courthouse, a janitor picks up the ripped duplicate of the DNA report discarded on the floor. The camera zooms in. On the lettering typed at the top, the father's name is empty. Day 2 of the trial dawns gray. Overnight, reporters have doubled, cameras jamming the courthouse steps. The headlines have already picked their villain. Some blame Kody, others blame Robyn. But inside the building, the truth still waits. Quiet, patient, and deadly. Meri strides through the entrance doors accompanied by her lawyer. Her expression is serene, but her eyes tell a story of lack of sleep. Christine and Janelle are close behind. They weren't called on witnesses today, but neither could resist. There's something compelling in half-told truth. It draws everybody in until it's finished. Kody arrives separately. His usual swagger is gone, replaced by a defensive stiffness. Robyn trails him, sunglasses hiding swollen eyes. They don't speak. Not even once. The courtroom fills again, but the energy is different, heavier. Everyone knows this is the day the DNA report will be verified. Judge Matthews enters the bench. Before we go any further, he says, the independent lab has verified the DNA results that were submitted yesterday. Gasps all around. The document is authentic. Kody shuts his eyes. Robyn slumps her head. Meri exhales, not with victory, but with sorrow. Karen stands. Your Honor, in light of the confirmation, my client moves that she be allowed to present additional evidence. Communication records regarding the anonymous message that brought her to the DNA test. The judge nods. Go ahead. Karen presses a remote control. A screen flickers to life behind her, displaying phone records and emails. These were all from an account set up in a phony name, she says. But after following the metadata, we found it traced back to an address owned by Mr. Samuel Lee, the courtroom shushes. The name doesn't mean anything to anyone, but to Robyn, it's a specter. Her hand comes up to her mouth. Kody moves slowly to face her. Who's that? He growls. Robyn's voice breaks. It's somebody I knew before I met you. Kody's stare can cut glass. Before or during? The question cuts through the air like a knife. Karen goes on, unruffled but unforgiving. Mrs. Brown, Mr. Lee called my client saying he was intimidated years ago to keep quiet about a child he thought could be his. Do you ever deny meeting him? Robyn cries openly now. No, I don't deny it. Meri sits quietly, clenching the edge of her chair. Each admission is painful, but a part of her, deep inside, feels a sense of relief. The truth at last speaking. Kody bangs his hand on the table. You lied to me. All these years. Robyn cries harder. I didn't know, Kody. I swear I didn't know whose child. Enough! The judge barks. Mr. Brown, you'll restrain yourself. Kody slumps back into his chair, shaking his head in stunned amazement. The man who used to dominate every discussion within his family now can't dominate a single word. Karen continues. Mrs. Brown, did you know that Mr. Lee tried to reach out to you after the birth of the child? Robyn weakly nods. Yes, I blocked him. I was fearful. Kody had promised me stability, and I didn't want to lose it. Meri closes her eyes. The courtroom feels like a confession booth now. Every lie, every cover-up spilling into the open. Judge Matthews takes notes. The court will request Mr. Lee's testimony. The defense lawyer stands quickly. Your Honor, my clients were unaware of any of this. Bringing in outside parties is unnecessary and prejudicial. The judge looks unimpressed. Prejudicial or not, the truth requires all voices. We'll hear from him tomorrow. The gavel thunders. Recess again. In the courtyard, the courthouse steps hum with reporters. Kody storms past them, cursing. Robyn follows behind, pale and empty. Cameras are there for every second. America's one-time celebrated polygamist clan now public tragedy. Meri emerges later, less agitated. Christine appears, umbrella in hand. You think she'll reveal the rest? She must, Meri whispers. Secrets fester when they're half-buried. They head towards the parking lot side by side, rain wetting the concrete beneath them. That evening, Meri lies awake. She sits beside her window, observing the rain slide down the glass. Next to her on the table is a new envelope, one delivered anonymously mere hours prior. No return address. Within it, a single picture. Robyn and a man she doesn't know, smiling, arms around one another. On the back, a date written in faded ink. Just 9 months before the child's birth, Meri's heart sinks. Whoever sent it wants her to keep digging. She stares at the photo until dawn. The next morning, session 3 of the trial resumes. The gallery is even fuller than before. News has spread that a new witness will testify. Meri looks exhausted but resolute. Kody looks like a man unraveling. Judge Matthews speaks. The court calls Mr. Samuel Lee. A graying man of height approaches the stand. He holds onto his hat as if it's the last tangible thing left in his life. He's administered the oath. Karen approaches. Mr. Lee, please state the court your connection to Mrs. Robyn Brown. Samuel swallows. We met years ago. We went out for a while before she married the Browns. She informed me later that she was pregnant, but told me the kid wasn't mine. I didn't press the issue. I respected her choice, but then I learned there may be grounds to doubt it. Robyn weeps softly, burying her face. Kody's breathing becomes labored, anger bubbling. Karen holds up the picture. Is this you and Mrs. Brown? Yes, ma'am. That's us. And do you affirm the date on the back? Yes, that's when she told me she was pregnant. The courtroom gasps once more. Kody erupts into laughter, a bitter, shattered sound. So this is it, huh? My entire life, my marriage, a lie. Robyn yells through tears. Kody, please! I loved you. I still love you. He points at her. You used me. You used my name, my family, everything we created. Judge Matthews slams the gavel. Mr. Brown! One more tantrum and I'll have you ejected. Kody sits, breathing hard, eyes crazed. Meri observes him silently, recalling all the years he ignored her suffering. Now, the same haughtiness is consuming him. Karen goes on, Mr. Lee, have you had a paternity test? He nods. Yes, yesterday morning, as ordered by the court. And what were the results? He pauses. They said, the chance of paternity is 99.8%. A gasp from the group. Robyn crumples against the stand, crying hysterically. Kody sits frozen, mouth hanging open, as if his reality just lost gravity. The judge makes a notation on his notepad, glances up. This court will recess for 30 minutes before we decide the next steps. The gavel comes down once more. As everyone stands, the room hums with whispers. Meri sits still. She isn't grinning. She isn't cheering. She appears, exhausted. Because justice sometimes doesn't taste like triumph. It tastes like ashes. Christine comes over quietly. You got what you wanted, Meri. Meri shakes her head. No, I got what I needed. There's a difference. Kody storms out of the courtroom, cameras in pursuit. This isn't over, he shouts. None of you are innocent. His angry, hollow voice resounds down the marble corridor. Robyn stays behind, shaking. What have I done? She murmurs. Karen collects the files. You spoke the truth. That's something, but Robyn doesn't seem to believe it. She seems shattered. Outside, the rain finally lets up. The sky breaks open, sunlight struggling through gray clouds. Meri comes out, squinting her eyes against the light. For the first time in years, she is something close to calm, but it's thin, like glass. She breathes deeply and goes down the courthouse steps, not knowing that Kody is standing across the street, his face unreadable. Behind him, reporters congregate. The story isn't finished, yet, because tomorrow the case takes another turn. Kody's side will fight back, with proof that might flip the case on its head. And as the camera sweeps up to the storm-cleared sky, the voice of the narrator hangs in the air. Every truth has a cost. And for the Browns, the bill hasn't even arrived. The courtroom was drowning in whispers. Papers shuffled. A reporter's pen scratched hurriedly against her notepad. Kody sat frozen, his hands clasped tightly together, his knuckles turning white. Across from him, Meri's face was still, too calm, too controlled. The judge cleared her throat. Ms. Brown, please proceed. Meri stood up again, her heels tapping gently against the marble floor. She didn't glance over at Kody this time. She turned to the judge and slowly reached out to deliver the envelope. Within its sterile wrapping and scientific letters lay the truth, a truth written in paper and ink. The bailiff took it to the bench. The judge put on her glasses and unfolded the page. The silence was excruciating. Each second lingered like an eternity. At last, she broke her silence. As the results indicate, the DNA verifies that. Kody leapt to his feet. No, you don't need to read it here. This is not just. The judge glared. Mr. Brown, sit down. But too late. The whole courtroom hunched forward. The judge went on. The DNA verifies that Solomon Brown is not Kody Brown's biological son. Gasps erupted around the room. Robyn placed her hand over her mouth, tears streaming down her cheeks. Meri shut her eyes, fighting back a swell of feelings she'd kept hidden for years. Robyn wept. This can't be true. That test is a lie. You don't know what you're doing. Meri stood facing her in silence. I didn't want this, Robyn, but you insisted I bring it here. I pleaded with you to tell him the truth first, before the court did. Robyn shook her head wildly, her hair falling in her face. You don't realize. You're ruining my family. Kody hit his fist on the table. You ruined it yourself, Robyn. How could you do this to us? Meri's eyes overflowed with tears. Don't play the victim now, Kody. You had secrets as well. You just never expected anyone to find them out. The courtroom descended into pandemonium. The judge demanded silence, but the atmosphere was too charged. The cameras focused in on Kody's shaking face, his image as husband and father, carefully constructed over the years, crumbling in front of everyone. She laid it in front of her lawyer on the table. That is not the only DNA test, she said quietly. The judge stared at her in shock. Another one? Yes, Your Honor, Meri said. This one is the other child's. Kody's breath hitched. What are you talking about? Meri faced him, tears shining in her eyes. I'm saying you've lied too. About your son with Christine. Christine's eyes went wide from where she stood in the room. Meri, no. Please don't, but Meri didn't let up. Her voice cracked with pain and determination. You made me out to be the villain for years, Kody. You made everyone believe I was bitter, jealous, and heartless. But all I ever desired was honesty. You wrote about family, but all you constructed was a lie. Kody rose, his voice shaking. You think you're the only one who's hurt? You think I didn't love all of you? The judge held up a hand. Order, order! The bailiff approached to quiet them, but nobody could quiet the emotional storm now in the room. The judge finally took a deep breath. This court will recess for an hour. When we return, we will hear the second DNA evidence. As the gavel came down, everyone breathed out. Cameras flashed. The audience murmured. Meri exited the courtroom, her expression inscrutable. Robyn wept into her hands. Christine sat blankly before the wall, muttering something no one could hear. Rain began to fall outside. Light, relentless, as if the sky itself was grieving what had been unveiled. Reporters swarmed Meri as soon as she left the courtroom. Mrs. Brown, is it true that the DNA confirms that Robyn's son is not Kody's? Is there another child at issue? What led you to unveil this now? Meri did not stop walking. Her attorney stayed between her and the blinding cameras. No comment, he continued. But as they approached the black SUV parked for her, Meri stopped for a second. She was drenched by the rain, her mascara smudged. She looked up, muttering to herself. I didn't do this to ruin them. I did this to save me. Inside the car, she pulled out her phone. Dozens of messages poured in. From Christine, from Janelle, even from old acquaintances. Some labeled her as brave. Others labeled her as a monster. She read them slowly, her reflection blending into the raindrops on the window. And then her phone vibrated again. A text message. Number unknown. It stated her heart missed a beat. She looked at the message, realizing that the storm was not yet over. The courtroom emptied out during recess, but this time the atmosphere was different. The air was dense, heavy, as if everyone sensed something irrevocable was going to occur. The reporters were poised. The cameras stood straight, filming Meri, then Kody, then Robyn, whose red-rimmed face had hardened. Christine sat behind them, shaking. She didn't know what she hoped for anymore. Justice, closure, or perhaps just silence. The judge appeared, the ring of her gavel like thunder. Court is now in session. Ms. Brown, you may continue with your second piece of evidence. Meri rose slowly, her voice calm but her eyes filled with the weight of years. Your Honor, the second DNA report pertains to Kody Brown and... Truly Brown, Christine gasped. No, please, not truly. Kody's head snapped toward Meri. You wouldn't dare! But Meri's voice didn't waver. This isn't about daring, Kody, it's about truth. She passed the envelope to her attorney. The judge opened it slowly, reading the words, her expression impassive. Seconds ticked by, agonizing, drawn-out seconds. At last, the judge raised her head. Based on this report, Truly Brown is biologically Kody Brown's daughter. The air changed once more. Relief flooded Christine. She dissolved into quiet tears. But then the judge went on. Her voice grew blacker. But there is an attached note from the lab, showing evidence of tampering on the initial sample collection. The courtroom exploded once more. Murmurs, gasps, and flashes filled the room. Kody's lawyer leapt to his feet. Objection! This is character assassination. We call for elucidation. But Meri intervened. No need. I recognize what it signifies. Someone attempted to alter the truth before it became available to the court. And it wasn't me. Robyn's hand shook. She glanced at Kody, the man to whom she had once referred as her protector, but he refused to look at her. The judge demanded silence. We will review the charge of tampering immediately. But as of right now, this court will hold the validated DNA evidence against Solomon Brown to be authentic and admissible, Robyn shrieked. No, please, this can't happen. The judge's tone moderated just a little. Mrs. Brown, you will get your turn to talk. Robyn blotted her tears, standing unsteadily. I didn't mean for any of this to occur, she whispered. Kody was drifting away. The family was disintegrating. I just wanted to cling to someone that would make him remain. Meri's eyes were filled with pain. So you lied about a baby? Robyn shook her head wildly. No, not like that. He was going to be his, I thought so, I swear. But when the doubts arose, I was too afraid to deal with them. You have no idea what fear does to an individual when the entire world is watching your every step. Kody slowly got up, his voice hushed, but shaking. You think fear excuses betrayal? Robyn spun around to face him, blazing eyes behind her tears. You're speaking of betrayal? You used me as the face of your joy while you lied to every wife you ever married. You desired control, not love? The judge banged his gavel. That's enough. This is not a therapy session. We are here for facts. But the facts were now tangled with emotions, and everyone in that room knew there was no going back. Christine stood suddenly. Your Honor, I need to speak. The judge nodded reluctantly. Proceed, Mrs. Brown. Christine came forward, her voice trembling but strong. I remained silent for too long. I watched this family tear itself apart from the inside out. We hid behind faith, behind oneness, behind Kody's vows. But there was never oneness. There was control, manipulation, and suffering. She glared at Kody. You wanted to be the hero of every book. But today, you get to see the harm that you've done. Kody sat in silence. He couldn't. Red eyes, heavy shoulders. Meri stared down, muttering under her breath. It's over. It wasn't. The judge folded her notes. Before we finalize, the court has received one final submission. A signed affidavit of a private investigator retained by Ms. Meri Brown. Meri's attorney passed the folder forward. It contained photos, timestamps, phone records. The judge's voice hardened. These papers indicate that Mr. Brown knew 2 years ago about discrepancies in Solomon's parentage and didn't tell the family. Christine held her hand over her mouth. Janelle's eyes went wide. Robyn just completely lost it. Kody whispered, No, I didn't know for certain. I didn't know, but the courtroom already had its answer. The silence spoke volumes. The judge took a deep breath. Based on all evidence submitted, this court finds that Mr. Brown committed willful withholding of material truth from his family, which is emotional and moral misconduct under this case. Custody and financial awards will be readdressed under review of family law. The gavel fell. Once, twice. It was over. Reporters sprinted out to get their headlines. Cameras shut down. But within the courtroom there was no movement. Robyn sat on the bench, sobbing softly. Christine clutched Truly to her tightly, whispering, "It's over." "Baby," Janelle stepped out first, no words. No backward glance. Meri stood one moment longer by herself, staring at Kody. Shattered, silent. She approached him slowly. "Kody," she whispered, "I didn't do it to punish you. I did it because someone had to end the pretending." He gazed at her, eyes empty. "And now what?" "What are we then?" Meri smiled faintly and wearily. "Perhaps now we can be honest." She turned and moved towards the door. The hallway light stretched her shadow long and isolated across the floor of the courtroom. As she emerged into the sunlight, reporters converged once more, microphones at the ready. "Meri, is it true the family is done for? What's next?" She didn't respond. Instead, she gazed up at the sky, gray but peaceful now, and whispered to herself, "Sometimes the truth doesn't end things. It sets you free." And that's how one courtroom hearing destroyed everything the Sister Wives family ever believed in. But what do you think? Was Meri justified in revealing it all? Or should she have kept quiet to save the family? Let me know in the comments below. I want to know which side you're on.